Good evening. Welcome to episode one of the Sanders Circus. My name is Craig Sanders, and this is my wife.
Jenny.
And we're so thankful that you guys are here with us today. We are so excited to spend a little bit of time with you and start to talk a little bit about our family. And in this circus ride that we've been on, this roller coaster ride that we continue to be on as a Sanders family, what we're going to start to do is document a little bit about us as a couple, and then also talk about in the 20 years of our life how we have really truly wanted to have kiddos, and God blessed us with an opportunity through this foster adopt piece in the last handful of years to be able to do that. And so we're going to share some of the ups and the downs and all of those pieces. But we are extremely excited about that. And in episode one, we're going to talk about our love life, and how that came to be, how we met, and how our family shaped us just a little bit in that very beginning pieces, and how that really changed who we are, as a couple, as husband and wife, and ultimately gave us the great opportunity to be a dad and a mom. So, Jenny, in this first very episode, I'm excited to do this with you. I know this is something that we've talked about for a little while, something that I felt like would be a great opportunity for us to really just to kind of document who we are and how this life has come about. So, as we're sitting here in our kitchen, as you guys can kind of see, this is episode one. So, of course, it's going to be a little crazy, and we're trying to work out all the bugs, just like we did at the very beginning of our love life. So, Jenny, I'll come to you. Like, why don't you just talk about a little bit about growing up for you, how your family shaped you, and how they were able to teach you how to love people.
Growing up, my family was always there, would show up to everything, would be supportive, love, just there in every way that they could. My grandma was my best friend. Like, I remember going after school, sitting at her kitchen counter, and just she was the one that I would talk to, even in high school and just getting older. And still, just loved to talk to her and my grandparents. And they were just committed and wanted to be there. And they helped me see that loving people was a priority for them, and just taught me how to love all kinds of people, not just the kind that we wanted to. Just everyone would be accepted and loved in the same way. And, growing up in the church and my grandpa being a pastor, like he just showed that in multiple ways, just being there for people, showing them love through taking them something if they needed it, you know, giving them money if they needed it, groceries, just being there to pray with them, just whatever they needed. He was always there for them.
Well, I think from my perspective, one of the things that I loved about you most from the very beginning was that simple fact that when I first started to see you, you had lots of friendships in college. You did care, and cared about everyone, and you were really good about just sending like little notes, little encouragements, little things along those lines, that was very helpful to literally every person in your friend group. And so for me, I think that that was something that I valued early on about you, is that just the simple fact that you did know how to love everyone. And I would say, from my perspective, for me growing up, some of those same things were taught to me, taught in a little bit different way. We did not grow up in the church, and different things along those lines. But what I was taught was by my grandparents on the Sanders side and on the Stidham side on my mom's side, just how to love people too, and how to treat them well, and how to value them. I was able to watch, honestly, both of my grandpas do that, and do that in a little bit different way. My grandpa Stidham, very quiet guy, ornery guy, which is where I get a little bit of my personality from, but a quiet guy who cared about his family and was like the leader that people wanted to hear from, and he had a great work ethic too. And then, of course, the person that I've kind of talked about quite a bit is my grandpa Carl, and I spent a lot of quality time with him, and I just really got to see him and how he led our family and led our family through difficult times and through fantastic times, and taught me how, again, to value the person honestly that was standing in front of me just as much as the person that I was trying to get to maybe later on. So he just did a really good job of kind of teaching me that. And so I guess what I wanted to kind of do in this first episode is talk about those kind of early days for us at CBC at Circleville Bible College, which is located in Circleville, Ohio. It's now named
Yeah.
Ohio Christian University. And we are actually sitting in Circleville now, and we'll weave our way through how we got here to Circleville, how we got back to Circleville after 20 plus years. But whenever I came to Circleville Bible College, I'd have to be very honest with you. I had a cousin named Josh that played basketball there, and maybe he'll listen to this, maybe he won't. But I will say
You might want to watch it.
yeah, the main reason why I decided to come was that he played basketball here, and I was better than he was.
Yeah.
So I thought, hey,
I
if
remember you
he
saying that.
can play college basketball here, then I can too. And something for me, I'm a big sports junkie, was semi-athletic, not fantastically athletic, but I thought, hey, here would be a great opportunity
Yeah.
for me to go to a school, play college sports, and be a part of that. For you, what was maybe a driving force for saying yes to go to Circleville Bible College?
I originally wanted to be a veterinarian or something like that with animals. I had a passion for animals and, showed dogs and different things like that. And so I really wanted to do that. But then I just felt a call to do ministry. And mainly my call was like children's ministry and youth. The youth group just growing up had such a profound impact on me because of the people that were in it and that, put their life into us. They cared about us. They were there for us. Like we went to their house to hang out. They were the ones that we talked to about high school things. And so then for me, kids, I've always loved kids. I've always loved watching them. Just as soon as I could be by myself with them, like I wanted to babysit. And so just putting those two things together about Jesus and showing youth or kids that they can be loved too was a major thing. And so then I was like, all right, let's go. I wasn't necessarily that good at science in high school. So I thought, this isn't for me, probably. So,
Yeah, the college experience at Circleville Bible College was the best part about it was the opportunity to take some of those passions that we
yeah.
had for people and turn them into a lifelong goal of loving people and connecting people to Jesus. And so I would say for me, very early on, we'll start getting into the lovey-dovey kind of story for us. But I think early on, my first semester, I went and in January of I believe in '01 or '02. I'm trying to even to
I
think
went in
about.
'01, so I think you were '02
Okay,
because then
so
we met that yeah,
that
that
next
next
fall.
semester.
Okay. So my first semester was January of '02, and honestly, I went to the University of Rio Grande and didn't really know where I wanted to be and what I wanted to do. And I say that I went to
You
University of Rio Grande. I
didn't.
didn't
You
really go
didn't. You
to
really
class
didn't.
very often, honestly, because I didn't really know what I wanted to be in life. I really came out of high school and knew that I enjoyed being around people and I loved sports, but I didn't really know how to turn that into something that was going to help me moving forward. And so going to Circleville for the very first time, understanding that my cousin Josh was there playing sports, I thought to myself, hey, this is a good opportunity for me to go up and to figure it out. And I will say at the very beginning, when I went to Circleville, my goal was to start right on the basketball team. And when I went, I started practice and I started to go through that very first that second semester piece and join the team. But my previous academic pieces at the University of Rio Grande did not let me do that because my GPA was not high enough to be participating on the team, which honestly, looking back on that, was honestly a big piece for me and a big
Yeah.
helpful piece for me. I think that honestly, it helped me refocus and honestly learn who Jesus was, which I didn't know really much about. So in the midst of that, in that January, February, after I got done pouting because I wasn't able to play on the actual basketball team, I had the opportunity to then start playing some college baseball and with a different group of guys, a group of guys who knew Jesus, guys that honestly I had never been around enough to know how to love Jesus and how to follow him. And they were able to show me that, which I'm indebted to them forever for that. And so for me, it really changed a lot about me. It changed who I was from a spiritual standpoint. It changed for me, honestly, of the type of person I was trying to spend the rest of my life with. And so as we kind of got through that spring semester, I had the opportunity to go on a mission trip, which I know that this will be a theme as we kind of move through a little bit too, kind of talking about some of that for both of us. But I was able to go on a mission trip to Dominica and St. Croix. A shout out to Ellie Thompson, who was one of our professors, who now we get to go to church with every single day. So it's pretty cool to be in her midst and hear about her story and about who she is. She took a chance on a kid from Gallipolis who probably at the
Yeah.
time didn't deserve it and probably didn't know Jesus all that well. But that trip changed me. It showed me that Jesus loved me, and honestly that there was an opportunity for me actually in
Yeah.
ministry. It didn't have to be about Wall Street or the business or whatever it might be or whatever crazy idea I had in my head. It could be about honestly loving Jesus and loving people. And so for me, leaving, going on that mission trip of that summer and coming back for fall semester really changed me. So for you, even too, maybe throughout your first year of college and through that summer, what were some things that maybe in your very first year that God was really working on you about, even?
I don't really remember. I just remember thinking, all right, like I can do this. I was only 20 minutes away from my family, but it was good for me to be out and develop friendships with people and kind of be in a new environment because then it challenged me to get out my comfort zone and do more than just, what I had been doing. So, and God was challenging me too, just trying to figure out life and figure out just where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do. And then, of course, the whole guy thing, just trying to figure all that stuff out, what I really wanted, or, just
He
all of
was
that.
coming. He was there.
Yeah,
He just
apparently.
had to
Yeah.
introduce himself
Yeah.
a little bit first.
Yeah.
So when we got back to fall semester, one of the things about our college, if you guys don't really know, is since it was a Bible college, there was a men's dorm and a ladies dorm, and in those two dorms, the guys were not allowed up into the girls' room, and
Right.
girls were not allowed into the guys' room. There were some common lobby areas that you could go to, and some different things along those lines. And so, honestly, especially during good weather, all the guys and all the ladies were usually out and about, out of their dorms, trying to play volleyball or hang out or go watch a movie or go do some type of activity.
Right.
And so I remember distinctly having, they would have these events where guys, this was craziness, but guys could go visit the girls'
Open
dorm.
dorm.
Open dorm, yes, open dorm.
Yeah.
And so the first one of the year was the guys would be able to go to the ladies' dorm, and in the midst of that, I remember sitting down in the lobby and being the new guy. It was a very small school, very small college, so very much like a small high school kind of piece. And being the new guy, there were a couple ladies that were around me, kind of asking the questions. The joke for Circleville Bible College is you come in as a single and you leave as a pair. So
You
of
get your
course,
MRS
yeah,
degree.
yes. Well, explain that to the people. What is that?
Mrs. Like you
Yeah.
become a Mrs.
Yes.
because
Yes.
you get married through college.
Yes, so there were a lot of people really looking into that. And so, of course, there were some ladies that were asking me these questions. And then all of a sudden, here you came through the doors and you were heading to your room. And the question at hand was, hey, Craig, is there somebody that you like? And so as you walked in, I said, actually, I like her. And you took
What did I do?
you took one look at me, and what did you do?
I walked away because I didn't know he was talking about me. Like, who would be talking about me? And I could have been going to bed too. But
Yeah, still like your sleep for sure. But so yeah, so not that I was the stud because I clearly wasn't, but I will say it was a very interesting like way to get turned down was
Mhm.
that I said I like you. And the response back was a look and a keep on walking.
You weren't used to that.
No, I was not. And so it was something that was pretty interesting to me. And so, of course, I kind of talked to your friends a little bit and tried to figure you out some. And of course, we still had just about every single class together and things along those lines too. And so for you, what was maybe that next step, or maybe did you ask questions about me, or did you like what were some of those behind the
Mhm.
scenes moments that got us to the point of at least going on our first fun group date?
I think then after that, I remember seeing you like a couple times on campus, and I think we stopped and like talked for a couple minutes. I remember being on the one sidewalk and we were talking. So I don't know if it was just me continuing to see you like
I was
conveniently,
trying to be seen. I was trying to be seen.
um, and just us kind of starting to kind of talk. Like then I probably just thought you were nice and I guess you were kind of cute, I guess. So
Definitely cute. I mean, still.
um,
I mean, look at
so
this. Look at
yeah,
this.
yeah. So I think it was just us just seeing each other and just kind of me warming up to the idea of talking to a boy and like getting to know and trust who I was talking to. So
Well, I think for me, it was one of those deals where I felt pretty strongly in the simple fact of I really liked who you were. I liked the fact that what you talked about at the very beginning, that you valued people and you
mhm.
cared for people. And for me, that was unlike a lot of young ladies that I had spent time with before. And maybe even thought that those relationships were going to last or grow. And so I think I remember we had the opportunity to go on this kind of group date with a group of folks. I did finagle the way for you to ride in the car
Yeah.
with me. There was another young man that was kind of pursuing you. He decided to ride in our car also. But luckily, you were able to sit in the front seat with me, and he got to sit in the back seat. And so it kind of worked out to my advantage from that perspective. But won't you tell the folks what that movie was? Do you remember the
It
name
was
of
Vin
it?
Diesel, and was it like triple X or something
Yeah, I
like
think
that?
when you get the name, you hear the name, and you hear that we went to a Bible college. Triple X is probably not the name of a movie that you would think that somebody in our college would go to, but it was an action film. And there were probably 15 of us or so that went on
Mhm.
bunch of different cars, 4 or 5 cars
Yeah.
that went to watch this movie. And I remember on the way home, we referenced the fact that you like to sleep. On the way home, you clearly fell asleep, and when you
No
did, you
doubt.
kind of cuddled over to me a little bit, and
Oh, see, I
this
don't.
cute little moment. I'm clearly making it up, but like I think it makes for a good story. I think so. But I think at that moment, I think for us, like I think
Mhm.
we really enjoyed each other,
Mhm. Yeah.
and we really began, this beginning of a relationship, but also a great friendship too,
Yeah.
that I think both of us really enjoyed, and especially in a small college like that. I mean, you're spending quality time with people whether you like it or
Yeah.
not, so you better kind of figure out how to
Seen
build
them a
those
lot.
relationships and
Yeah.
figure that out a little bit. So we go on the first group date. We spend some more quality time with one another, and then quiz question of the day. So
Goodness.
I think you got this, but what was the date of our first date?
September 1st. I think it was Sweetest Day.
You think sweetest day?
I think so.
I know that was definitely September 21st. I will tell you guys, like, I think Jenny's cheating a little bit, but that's okay. The sweetest day thing clearly is just like Valentine's Day. It's a made up holiday.
Yeah.
But it worked out. We went to Lancaster, Ohio, which was about 25 minutes away. That was kind of the entertainment at the time.
Yeah.
And so we went to Chi Chi's, which was a fantastic Mexican restaurant. That was really cool.
Yep.
And then we went putt putting. A couple fun stories from that. I'll let Jenny kind of tell one from dinner. What did you happen to order when we went to dinner that night?
Steak, of course, because I mean, he was probably buying. So
Yeah.
why would I get something else? Like,
Yeah,
I like food.
and I was loaded. I mean, I'm a college student, just money just coming out of everywhere. I mean, it was pretty crazy. So you get the steak, and I think that probably should have been a big question mark going to a Mexican restaurant and ordering steak.
Yeah.
But what was one of the things maybe that you asked me to do?
I probably said it jokingly.
No.
I said, "Would you cut up my steak for me?"
So
My dad had to cut up my steak, even like as a 20-year-old, because I'm just awful. I'm uncoordinated. Like, I shake the whole table as I'm trying to cut up my food, and like it wasn't going to be good.
it
Well,
was
and
bad.
probably what could have happened was I started cutting it up, and then you're probably like, "Here, just
What are
let
we
me."
doing? What are
Like,
we doing?
what?
Shaking the
Let's,
entire
yeah,
table. Shaking the entire
yeah,
table.
yeah.
So it should have been a red flag. I mean, guys,
But
like
it
if
wasn't.
I had them on a table, I would have picked one up and said, red flag number one. Red flag number one. So we get through dinner, then we go play putt putt, which is something that, I mean, at every family vacation I ever took in my
Yeah.
life, that's what we always did. So it was really neat to have a putt putt place there in Lancaster. I have no idea if that place is still there. Probably not.
Yeah.
We haven't been to Lancaster in a little while. We'll have to go over that way for a little memory lane kind of
Yeah.
piece there. But played putt putt, and in the midst of that, even we're playing, and of course I'm competitive. I want to win, but what does this young lady do?
I cheated. I mean, I just showed my true self right then and there because, just might as well. And I knew I wasn't going to win anyway. So why not just cheat and, act like I would
Yeah,
win?
there was a lot of like kicking it in with your foot, picking it up and putting it in. A lot of at the time, first date stuff that you would say, "Oh, that's just so cute. Oh my gosh, look how cute she is." But now being married for 20 years, you just absolutely call them out and say,
Yeah.
"You're cheating.
Yeah.
Stop doing
Yeah.
that. You're hurting your score.
Yeah.
You're trying to cheat me. You're going to end up blaming me later for how terrible you
Yeah.
play." So, but at the moment, probably again should have been red flag number two, but instead it was a, oh, look how cute. Look at her trying to be competitive and funny and clumsy
I was
and
going
all
to
the
say,
fun
but at least I
things.
was making you laugh.
So we definitely had a great time with that. And so as we start to fast forward, I know that we had dated for a little while, and you really we talked about that kind of friendship piece that we really built in.
Mm.
But one of the things that I think for me was a big milestone, a big hurdle, I guess, of just getting to that point of seeing how much you love me, and honestly how I was building a loving relationship with you, is that my parents went through a divorce that winter, our first kind of winter together, and during that time, it was very difficult for me. My parents had been married for over 25 years, and so it was very difficult, even as a 22-year-old, 21,
Yeah.
22-year-old, to kind of go through that. So I would say too, like, it doesn't really matter at what age your parents get a divorce or how difficult the situations are. It still is hard,
Yeah.
and it still breaks your heart, and you still go through some difficult times. So in the midst of those difficult times, the thing I really appreciated about you is that if I was having a great day, and then you were having a great day with me, but if I was having a rough day, you were right there to hug on me and to help me and to make sure that I knew that you cared for me, and that you would be there for me. And so, why do you think, from your perspective, I know we talked about your family and some of those values, but why do you think, in the midst of that was important for you to do in our relationship?
Because we had developed that type of relationship, and what did you, I mean, it just started off as friends, but then I feel like through that we developed our friendship before anything else. And so we really got to know each other and would share things with each other that maybe, we would not have shared with each other if something like that would not have happened, maybe. Just being there for someone was important for me, and to help encourage and help get you through it, I guess. Because we were going to be together. I wanted to be with you and wanted to be there for you.
And I think during that time too, like, I think it's just human nature to also like compare families a little bit and some different things along those lines. So I think for me, I just know that there were times during that point where I was pretty apologetic, because just like I talked about my two grandpas and how they were a big part of my life. I know for you, your grandma and your grandpa are a big part of yours. And so they, to me, were this like larger than life Christian couple, like the perfect family. And here I was, my family was like crumbling down, and I would make excuses for, like, well, we used to be this, or we used to be that. And during those times, you were just fantastic, and just saying, I don't really care what your family
Yeah.
dynamic really looks like. I'm going to be here for you. And whatever that new family dynamic looks like, I'm still going to be there. And so I think it was a big help to me in those moments and how difficult they were. So I know that like we've talked about it in the past, and I think that's where that relationship, that friendship turned into a lot more
Yeah.
of knowing that we had each other's back and that we cared for each other
Yeah.
a lot more than just that friendship. It was going to be a
Yeah.
growing, loving relationship in the midst of that too. So I think it really changed us in that first few months. I think it really challenged us, and maybe in some other relationships, maybe in that first couple months, they're in that kind of honeymoon phase where they're always lovey dovey. They have the perfect relationship. They never fight. They never go through anything difficult. And for us, I think for you, you would say that that should have been a precursor to this circus ride that we're on. I mean, maybe even just kind of speak to that a little bit of like how that should have been, maybe not necessarily a red flag, but like the first building blocks of this roller coaster ride that we call our life is.
Oh, I mean, it just wasn't easy. It wasn't, a lot of people could have just said, well, peace out. Your life's hard. And we've seen that in our life throughout, our journey. But I don't know. I guess I just felt like I should stay and that you were going to be maybe something more in my life. So,
Well, when we talk about more, of course, when we talk about this, I was just telling this story the other day, a story about Jenny, and it was about our first kiss. And so, of course, we were a couple months in, which is way too long for me, for
for
sure.
Craig,
I was ready to, you know, make that happen maybe during the Vin Diesel movie, but I don't think that would have been a good move at the time. And so I thought I would be slick, and they used to have these wax red lips that you could buy, and so I bought these lips, and I gave them to you, and I probably had some kind of sappy note on it
probably.
because I was really good about, especially very early on, being
Yeah.
so sappy
That's
and
what I was about to
loving.
say.
And so gave you these wax lips, and then tried my best to put my best move on you, and did it work?
I guess it did, right?
I mean, you tell me. I don't know. I mean, did it work? Did we have our first kiss?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah, so our first kiss finally happened 3 months in. My goodness, I
Yeah,
didn't
it
think that
was
was ever gonna happen.
Craig. Yeah.
So after that moment, I think it progressed to kind of keep going through the months and going through Christmas time and different things along those lines. And we get to the first I love yous and the different things like that. And can you remember that story a little bit? Do you remember any of the I love you pieces?
I don't.
So
My memory's terrible. I
uh,
don't.
yeah, I mean
Remember.
that's what you guys are gonna learn about her. I've got to carry all of these.
I don't.
That's the reason we're
I don't
doing.
remember what yesterday was,
Yeah.
or even today.
Yeah, that's why we're doing this podcast, guys. We're doing this podcast so we can
When we get too old,
share our
then
memories with our family and with our kiddos. And so at this point, of course, clearly I can just make up a story, but the way I remember it is that Jenny did say, "I love you" first. So big step for her, especially as the introvert kind of person that she is, that she was able to share that. And of course, she had some, sappy story of how, she felt like I was the one for her and that she wanted to make sure that she said it when she was ready to. And so I think initially her thought process was is that I was immediately going to respond with, "I love you too." But I will tell you that it took me a little bit. And she finally, of course, got those words out of me. But I think for me, when you've been in previous relationships and things along those lines, sometimes when you're a little bit younger, you say it too prematurely. You get those words out of your mouth because you're in, ninth grade, and you think like, "Oh
yeah.
yes, I love you" after 4 months works. And then you get a little bit older, and you figure out that's not really the way that works. And I did tremendously care for Jenny, and I cared for her because of the way that she valued me and the way that she encouraged me and the way that she was just she was perfect for me. But at the same time too, I'd tell you like I was pretty nervous about saying it, and I didn't. I thought if I'm gonna say it, this is gonna be the last time that
Right.
I say it to a
Yeah.
person. And
I remember you saying
um,
that. Like, I want to make sure it means something. And
Yeah, instead of just trying to get kiss number 2, just trying to say I love you to get kiss number 2, I wanted to make sure that we were pretty clear about it. And so as that relationship progressed, I think for me, it was just so exciting to be able to know that we loved each other and that we cared for one another. We valued each other, and I think for us that has been an absolute staple for us in this 20 plus year. A moment for us is that we have grown closer and closer together, and every
Yeah.
bump in the road, every difficult moment, every great moment, we've had a great opportunity to grow closer together. And so, with as we begin to kind of wind down here in episode one, we will. I'll ask you one more question here, and then this will be kind of a preview for episode two. So, as we kind of progress in some of our months of dating and different things along those lines. I had a vacation scheduled with my family that summer of 2002. So in that summer of 2002, we had been dating for about 10 months. And I had thought to myself, hey, we threw out the I love yous, we believe in each other, all of those things. And so I decided as I was kind of working my tail off that summer that it was about time for our relationship to kind of go to the next level. And so I bought a ring. I definitely went and talked to your mom and your dad
Yeah.
and got their permission, which is probably, I don't know nowadays if that's something that still goes on, but I think I definitely valued that conversation with Tony and Luann and different things along those
Right.
lines. But my question to you was, as we are going to this vacation and we're going to Florida, did you believe or did you know of anything that was about to happen on that vacation?
I did not. I saw you one day going out to talk to my mom as she was working, but I was like, oh, I don't know. So I didn't know anything was going to go on. So
So on that trip to Florida too, I'll tell you guys, we go to Florida. We are spending some quality time with my aunt in Florida, and we are having a good time. Um, and my uncle had a boat and had a scuba company that he ran. And
oh
on
god.
that trip, Jenny and I decided to go snorkeling. And so I found out a few things about her very quickly. Um, the main thing is she's not a very good swimmer.
And
So
I went boating a lot with my family. Like we would go tubing and stuff like that. And I didn't care. Like I would fly off the tube and be fine. But trying to go underwater, like it was not for me.
yeah, the snorkeling piece was very difficult. We talked about red flag one, cutting the steak,
There was red flags all over
cheating
this
on
relationship.
cheating on putt putt, red flag number two. But I would say that I had a ring in my pocket for this trip. I'm trying to figure out the X's and O's of how I'm going to do this. We go on this snorkeling trip, and as we're in the water snorkeling, there's a rope that they kind of throw out just in case you need to get there to kind of catch your breath or whatever. The next thing I know, Jenny and I were snorkeling together, and she jumps right on my back, about drowns me. To the point that I honestly thought it was going to be some kind of Baywatch moment
Oh
where I
my
had to
gosh.
knock her
Don't be
out
dramatic.
to get her back to the boat. No, it was real. It's not dramatic. It is a real thing. And so I finally get her back to the rope. I'm explaining to her, pull on the rope, take the slack out. You can pull yourself right there. And so as we finally got back to the boat, we finally get on the boat. My Uncle John at the time was there. He was helping us back on the boat. He's asking us all these questions, asking Jenny how she was. I'm thinking to myself, what are we doing right now? This
No,
girl can't
that's
even
just
swim. This is one of my favorite things to do, and I don't really know. So not a lot of bonus points going on that snorkeling trip, but we were in Florida. We were enjoying the weather. We were having a great time there. And it was a lot of fun. And so for me, as we get ready to end episode one, I would tell you guys, for us, as we begin to move through our life and through this Sanders Circus, as we love to call it, you're going to learn a little bit more about us. And then you're going to get to learn a lot more about Sophia, who is 6, Alex, who is 4, getting ready to turn 5, and JC, old Jackson Carl, who just turned 4. And we can't wait to share with you and also with them as they get older who we are and what this Sanders Circus, how it started, and where it's going to go. So thank you so much for checking in and listening to episode number 1, and we'll be back real soon with episode number 2. Have a great day. See you
See
later.
ya.